2022 paper 2 question 2. The points A and B are the endpoints of the line segment, and there's the symbol for line segment, the square bracket, A and B. Find the coordinates of C, which divides AB internally in the ratio 4:1. So this is really just a very straightforward log tables, get your formula, so page 19. Page 18. It's page 18. It says the point dividing PQ in the ratio A is to B. So this is our formula. So I'm just copying this out as the formula for so your ratio is going to be your A is to B. So 4 is A, obviously your I1, X2, Y2, and then it's just a case of filling in. So B is 1, X2 is -1, and B plus A is obviously going to be 5. And then I end up with, again, 1, Y is 4, Y2, which is 3, and that's all over, again, A plus B. So that's going to give me 8, plus by minus is minus, so that's -4 over 5. And then I get -4 plus 12 over 5. So that's 4 over 5, and the other one is, what's that? That's 8 over 5. So that is the point C, which divides the line segment in the ratio 4:1. Okay, part B, the line L has a slope of M. Okay, so we don't really know what the slope is, but it says a slope of M, and it contains the point QR. Okay, so we've no numbers here so far anyway, where M, Q, and R are elements of R, so they're all real numbers. So in other words, they can be anything, positive, negative, whole, fractional, anything. Oh, sorry, we're told they are positive. Sorry, where M, Q, and R elements of R are all positive. Okay, find the coordinates of the point where L cuts the y-axis. Now, the minute I hear cuts y-axis, in my head, I'm saying let x equals to 0. Any mention of y-intercept, x has to be 0. So I guess what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let x equals to 0, but I need my my equation first. So I'm going to do y minus y1. So that's going to be x1, y1. So that's or in this case equals m, which is my slope, bracket x, which is 0, minus x1, which is q. So y minus r is equal to m by 0 is 0, and then m by q is minus mq. So y is r minus mq. So the coordinates of where it crosses the y-axis are 0 or minus mq. So in other words, I've now discovered that it crosses the axis at 0 or minus mq. And it does say writing it in terms of mq and r. So that means that there is no number. We're just writing it in terms of those letters. And then I think one more question. Yep. So the line K, so a completely different line, has a slope of -2, and the line J makes an angle of 30 with K. Okay, so let's say that's K for the moment. We have another line that meets K at an angle of 30, apparently. Find one possible value of the slope of the line J and give your answer in this form. So there's going to be surds in here somewhere. Now, the minute I hear makes an angle, I go to page 19 this time, and I go to the formula that talks about angles between lines. So I'm going to copy down my formula. So a very easy question, again, from this 2022 paper, all just really picking formulas and filling in. Now, it's going to be the tan of 30. So it's tan of 30 degrees equals to plus or minus. Now, it's interesting. They've asked for one possible value of the slope. So they're kind of suggesting here that 1 will do. So I'm just going to leave the plus or minus in at the moment, but I only need to pursue one of them. So M1, so the angle, well, I know the angle of K is -2, so I might as well put that there. Minus, I don't know what M2 is. That's my goal in a minute, to find the possible value of the slope. 1 plus, again, I have -2 and M2. Now, when I get the tan of 30, so that's what, √3 over 3. So we see an introduction of a surd here, which is kind of good news, really. minus 2 minus m2, and then underneath 1 minus 2m2. Now, because we're only asked for one possible value, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to work with one of them. So I'll just get rid of the minus, and I'm just going to work ahead with 1. So I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to multiply root 3 by this, and I'm going to multiply 3 by this. So that gives me root 3 minus 2 root 3 m2 and minus 6 minus 3 m2. Now, I need to bring the m2's together because my goal really is, remember, to get the m2 on its own. In other words, the second slope. So I'm going to factorize m2 out, and it leaves me with 3 minus 2 root 3. We're nearly there. So m2 is equal to minus 6 minus root 3 divided by 3 minus 2 root 3. Now I'm basically done because I've only been asked for one possible solution. But I do notice that the form they want me to give the answer in is not quite what I have. So it looks to me like I'm going to have to do the technique of rationalizing the denominator. Now, we have done rationalizing the denominator before. We haven't probably done it with one that's a little bit bigger like this one. So I'll explain now how to do it because we're going to be doing it very shortly in the chapter we're on at the moment. So I might as well just go ahead and do it. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate. So in other words, I change the sign of the bottom and I multiply top and bottom by the bottom with the changed sign. So it's a technique called rationalizing the denominator, which really means getting rid of the thirds in the denominator. So multiplying out the top line, I have minus 6 by 3 minus 18. Minus 6 by 2 root 3 is minus 12 root 3. Minus root 3 by 3 is minus 3 root 3. And minus root 3 by positive 2 root 3 is minus 2. Root 3 by root 3 ends up being 3. The bottom line, now 3 by 3, so same thing here. 3 by 3 is 9. Now I'm going to end up with a minus 6 root 3 and a plus 6 root 3, and then finally minus 4 times 3. So I have minus 18, minus 15 root 3, minus 6. They cancel, so I have indeed rationalized the denominator. So now I have minus 24 minus 15 root 3 over minus 3. So I'm going to factorize out a minus 3 from the top line, which leaves me with 8 minus 5 root 3 all over minus 3. They cancel. And then I get my final answer of 8. Sorry, that should be plus actually. My apologies, because I factorized out a minus. So when I factorized out the minus, that should be plus. So that gives me my final answer. And when I compare it to the blue section, is it D plus E root F? It is, and I know that I'm done.